to go over some district information, so we're going to go through my slides here a little bit. And once we get done with that, we'll go through how to do your timesheets and get paid, because that's important. There's a video I need to show you about bloodborne pathogens. Chef Bruce is going to talk to us for a couple of minutes about what our teachers' expectations are when you come in to help them out. And then the most important part of the day, which is our breakfast. Good? All right. Really work. My point you put. Deal? Is in this basement. Okay, so again, our purpose for being here today is we want to go over our substitute handbook to make sure we're all together on what our expectations are here at the Ocean County Vocational School. I will not insult you by reading all my slides to you. We will just kind of go over them. There you go. Okay, so we just met Ms. Edgar, and if you need the telephone number for any reason, write it down, save it in your cell phone. This is a very important number for you. Book too, on your book. It's in the packet, it's on the website. I mean, it's everywhere. You need this number. Good? Okay. Okay, so in your handbook, if you open up your handbook, you'll see there's a listing of all our schools, the locations of our schools, who the administrators are in each school, the administrators for our district, telephone numbers for the schools, schedules for the schools, all the stuff you need. So if you're going someplace you haven't been before, you have the contact individuals and the hours and the location and anything you could possibly need to help you out right at the beginning of the book. When you come to sub, we ask and expect you to have your substitute handbook with you. So let's do all of our locations, which again, on that same page of the book. Go for a lot of stuff. Most of you guys have been here before, right? So you have a good handle. Go through it all. Probably going to go through all of it. Okay, so substitute teacher qualifications. So, does everyone in here at this point have their sub certificate and their shop certificate? Good to go. Yes. It's a shop. If you're you have an expertise in a certain area, we utilize your specific chocolate cosmetology. It's just you, and we'll talk about that. For your general sub-certificate, you know that it's issued by the county superintendent, and just as the county superintendent can issue it, the county superintendent can take it away. We have no control of that, so you have to keep an eye on your certificate, and you have to renew it every 5 years. So keep an eye on that as well. If you've been doing this a while, and you're getting near year 5, reach out and talk with us so we can make sure we get your certificate renewed. And of course, you need to have 60 college credits. So we went through the procedures and the policies for how the sub-schooler calls you and what to do, so I don't see the need to do that twice, as long as everybody's comfortable with that. Right? You understand how our mornings work? You're getting that early morning crack of dawn phone call. Good? Okay. Hold on, there is one thing. When you come into the buildings, this building is an exception to all the others. When you go into all the other buildings to sign in the morning, you sign in right in the main office, and that's where you'll get your lesson plans for the day and any other information you need. This building's different than any other. If you should be in this building, you come in, you sign in the main office, but then you have to walk all the way down to the far end of the building and to the left, and that's where our attendance office is, and that's where we keep our lesson plans. So that's where you keep your emergency lesson plans and any of the materials you need. So that's the one exception to everywhere else. Everybody understand? We ask that you please come dressed appropriately for the work that you're doing. You can find the district's dress code policy actually in the back of your book, but I'll give you the short version of it. We expect you to come dressed as a professional. Please don't wear jeans, don't come in shorts. And if you're going to be in one of the shops, we have to do work in one of the shops, obviously you can dress appropriate for the shop that you're working in. Any questions about that? Again, it is by law, you have to take attendance, so make sure that you take attendance for every class you're in. You are responsible for those kids. You're responsible for where they are and what's going on. And I realize that many of our students, we don't really tend to look at them as kids anymore. I mean, you look around, these guys are 17, 18, 19 years old. But when they're here, by law, they are kids, and we're responsible for them. We have to keep an eye on them. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to insult you. So we have to know where they are. So you got to make sure you take attendance. So usually what we do is you set up a sign-in sheet, have the kids sign in, make sure that you check the names and that you can read them. And when they're not giving you a fake name because sometimes they like to mess around with you. We will, of course, give you a class list you can compare it to. Just make sure you have what you say you have. And then you're responsible for everybody you say you have. So if somebody, goes to the bathroom and doesn't come back, you got to report that, let us know. You're responsible for keeping up. We ask that you keep an eye on all the materials. Obviously, we have a lot of construction materials in our shops, and they're very expensive and difficult to replace. So if you're doing things with the kids where we're going to have them utilize these materials, please keep an eye on them, make sure they're returned in the same manner in which they received them, and that we're tracking that everything that we give out, we get back. We generally don't have too much of an issue with that, but we just want to keep an eye on it. Keep the shops clean and in a safe way. Luckily, at least in this building, most of our restrooms and locker rooms are in the same room as the classroom, which is really nice. It makes it easy for you, but that isn't necessarily the case in every center. So if you're going to send kids out to do something, where they're going to need a key, you can't give them a key. You're going to have to help them out some other way. You send somebody else with them, or give them a pass into the office where we can help them out with something along those lines. Good? Following that same idea to keep the shops right, safety. No one can be in the shop if they don't have the right safety gear. So please make sure that they have all the appropriate safety gear for the shop that they're in. It'll be in the lesson plans too, just in case you need a reminder yourself. But it's always things like the glasses are an absolute. Usually it's gloves, maybe a respirator, it may be rubber gloves, it may be a uniform, depending on what we're talking about. But we got to make sure everybody has what they're supposed to, and if they don't, then they can't participate in the show. So you either keep the classroom section or you have to see one of us. If somebody becomes ill or if you have any kind of an issue along those lines, you want to send them to the nurse. The nurse in this building is in the main office. The nurse in the other buildings varies depending on what building we're referring to. If you're not sure, ask for the first come in the morning. It's an important place. You want to know where they are. And in the event of an emergency like fire or exiting the building for any kind of reason, or even a drill, fire drill, you want to make sure you bring that class roster with you. You walk your kids outside to the designated area. There are egress routes written in every classroom. So it will be in your emergency plans when you get them that morning. But if for some reason you don't want to look there or you don't see them there, it's on the door of every room. So you know which way to take the class out. You got to take attendance while you're outside. In the event of a real emergency, you can be around, follow up with you on that attendance. It's a drill, we take the attendance, then we come back in and take attendance again to make sure everybody gets back to the class. Good? All right. Okay, discipline. When the cat's away, the man's to play, right? So if you run into any issues where students are not acting as the young adults that we expect them to be, and we're having any kind of an issue with them, that's what we're here for. There's no need for you to get into conflict with the student. If for small stuff, something you feel you can handle yourself, by all means go ahead, you leave a note for the teacher, and we will deal with that when they return. If it's anything more than that, if it's anything more significant, call one of us, we'll come down to you. We'll come and take care of that student. It's not necessary for you to get into confrontation with them. That's what I'm here for. So if you run into any of these kind of situations, look for some help, whether it's one of the administrators, whether it's a teacher across the way, whether you pick up the phone and call from one of us, whatever works for you so that you don't have to have that conflict. That's not why you're here. You should be able to have a nice day, enjoy your day. So if you run into one of those problems, utilize this. Also keep in mind, a lot of our staff is here every day with these kids, so we've built relationships with them. And over time, if you're in the same building wall, I'm sure you will as well. But if it's someplace new for you, a lot of times you'll see one of our staff members step in and try to help you out when things are starting to go the wrong way. Don't feel offended to let them take it. They may know that student a little better than you do. They may have that rapport with them where they kind of talk them down and work with them. It is in no way an insult or a sign that we don't think that you can handle that student. It's just we're there with them every single day. Or sometimes that helps. And if you're in the same place for a while, you'll start to have that as well. This part's important. Working in a school is different than anywhere else. Taking this job is different than any other job that you can have. Because if we do something wrong, we go to jail. So We gotta watch out for the negligence. You don't want to fall into negligence. And that's when we get into that taking attendance, make sure we never leave kids alone, don't send them someplace without passes, because we're responsible for them in every sense of the word. It doesn't matter that they're 17 years old. And at the end of the day, it's the same as if they were 4 years old. We're responsible for every action that goes on there. And if you leave students alone in your classroom and something happens and you go, I just stepped out the hallway for a minute, it doesn't matter. You'll probably end up losing your sub-license on the good side. And it could be much worse depending on what happens. So never, ever leave one of the students by themselves. Any questions? Yeah. Call for one of us and we'll come and watch the class. Every room has a phone. Okay. Good. Okay. Harassment, intimidation, and bullying. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of state law up there that I'm not going to read to you because I want you to actually pay attention to me. Here's the deal with harassment, intimidation, and bullying. These things occur. By law, this is the short version. By law, if you think in any sense that there might be some form of harassment, intimidation, or bullying going on, you must report it. You must do something about it. You cannot say, I think they're working out for themselves, or I'll tell the principal at the end of the day. That's no good. We need to know right away. You need to pick up that phone and you need to let us know immediately. Multiple reasons for that. One, we want to deal with whatever it is immediately. Two, we don't want to take a chance. I'd rather you come and tell me you think something's going on or something might be going on and you're wrong 9 times out of 10 than taking the chance that we misread. And once you tell me, or you tell whoever the administrator in the building is, you're off the hook. Then I deal with all the specifics of this law and I make sure I meet all the requirements. I'd rather deal with those than have you do it. I deal with them every day. That's why we're here. So if you think anything's going on, kids calling each other names, kids giving someone a hard time at the locker, anything, don't take a chance. Just let us know. This way you're not liable. Because under this law, if you see something and you say nothing, you are liable. So it's better to have that be on me. Everybody understand? Good? This one's a big deal. This happens a lot. All this is in the back of the book, so I should policy. Certainly read that. Keep going. All right. We did dress code. Keep going. Okay. My last thing for you is that we rely on you, and we're very, very, very grateful to have you. You may not always realize that, but we're desperate for you. You save the day. You're our heroes. You guys come in and you help us when our teachers can't be here, and we could not operate the school without you. You're integral to what we do here on a daily basis. But when you come in, we need things to keep moving forward. So when you come in, you need to come in prepared to actually take those lessons, teach those kids, and continue their education moving in a forward direction. It's not a day to come in and read a magazine or, come in and finish paying your bills while you're sitting at a desk. We expect you to come in and be the teacher for the day, keep things moving forward. That is our expectation when you come in. That is our teacher's expectation when you come in, that whatever they leave, we're going to make sure it's getting done. So we're going to keep the pressure on and keep those kids working on whatever it is that we need to have them working on. If you have a kid who isn't cooperating, like we said earlier, let one of us know. We'll come and we'll take care of that for you. But you need to do your best to try to keep that education moving forward. We have to educate our students every day. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
What's the cell phone
Well, I'll answer both. Okay. We ask you not to use your cell phones. Obviously, while we're doing instruction, you can go to the faculty lounge during the lunchtime if you need to utilize it. But as far as for the students are concerned, our students are allowed to use their cell phones when they come into the building in the morning. They can use them at the end of the day when they're in the hallway, and they can use them when they're on break time. Between periods. When I say use them, I mean they can text on them, they can do research on them. We'll let them listen to it with a headphone. What we don't want to see is them listening to music just without the phones, where it's just that loud. And we ask them not to actually have conversations on their phones in the hallway. We ask them to come to the office. But once they're in a classroom, once you allow them into that room, there's no phone. They need to be put away. Now, sometimes the teacher will leave in their lesson plans, let students use their phones to do research or to look something up, and that, of course, is acceptable as long as they're using it for that purpose.
So when they take it out, which is the one experience, it's supposed to be recorded, to take the phone.
I would ask them to put it away. If they ignore you, at that point, I would write their name down, because that's not working, getting in the conflict over. And you write down their name, you give it to us, you come back, and all the students can see this. If they're doing something on the phone that you find that's so disruptive, it's disrupting the classroom, call for one of us to come down and remove it. Good? I know the phones are always checked. But I find most of our students, I mean, they're going to test you. Right? Kids, of course, they're going to test you. But if you ask them respectfully and you speak to them the way that you would want to be spoken to, please put that away. I understand you want to use it now, it's not the right time. 99% of our students will comply. We have good ones. Good? All right. Guys, can you give me Chef first?
Okay, first, okay. So, good morning, my name is Chef Bruce Van Sickle. Welcome to the world of substitute teaching. Once you remember back your pre-teen glorious days, for some of us it's not so long ago, school wasn't it dull, monotonous, mind-numbing, and uneventful? Then comes the day when the substitute's here, waiting outside the classroom door. Feelings of excitement that borderline evil spread throughout the developing naive brain. So let me share with you a little bit of recipes for success. There's recipes for substitute teaching for success. Yields one good day. Your ingredients, appropriately dressed for the area that you're designated to. Understand, obviously, as a vocational school, you need to have appropriate dress for different areas of the shop. Sometimes our ladies' stilettos might not be the best place for the shop areas. So think about those things when you get dressed. Acquired and read your plans and attendance sheet. Very important things. Take your attendance. Make sure you follow the plans. Prepare instructions for yourself. And come there with a mind full of confidence. Method of preparation. Get to school early. It really is important. When possible, consult with others in the department that you're in there for the day. Understand that we have larger departments programs like EPC, culinary arts. There's other instructors in those programs. That's going to help out your day to consult with them when the other teacher is out. Follow through with your plans. Leave the room in the same dishes as you found it in. And before you serve this, top it with patience, humor, and respect, and enjoy. And in closing, all you can do is for the best, hope for the best, and thank you for being with us today. So guys, that's my little input on a substitute teacher, and that's kind of what we look for the substitute teachers. There's not that many of them, so as a culinary substitute is here, I can say we use you a lot for sure. So if you have a trade, maybe if we don't know about, maybe you have a background trade, you can also be shop certified for it. I'm not sure what your backgrounds are. So something to think about also, that maybe not be able to just be used as like a classroom kind of instructor, maybe you can be a shop instructor, maybe you have a background in mechanics or auto or something like that. So it's something to think about to be shop certified also. Anyone here shop certified? Other than Nick Salam right now? You're shop certified also? Fantastic. It's another thing to add on to also. So I just want to feel. Thank you. Enjoy your breakfast. Today what you're having is a Western omelet, little home fries, and some bacon. Enjoy, guys.